the man who's famous for Jacoby transfers. He gave us a lot of stuff and was really one of the kings of bridge for a long time. Well, it's been a number of years ago, but this is one of his inventions. Basically, the Jacoby Forcing Raise is used by most players in conjunction with a 5-card major suit bidding system. There are a number of ways out there that you can show a game forcing response with trump support for your partner's major suit. This is one of the best known of those. Following an opening bid of one of a major suit, that is a heart or a spade, a jump to 2 no trump promises 4-card trump support. There's that thing about the 9-card trump fit again. It is really important. It also promises a game-going hand. That means a hand with a total valuation of at least 13 points, and that it is balanced usually. We'll talk in a week or two here about when it might not be balanced. But in general, it will indicate a balanced hand, hence that 2 no trump name in it. Now, because this 2 no trump bid doesn't mean no trump, we're not proposing no trump here as the strain, it has to be alerted. And that means that the partner of the bidder, 2 no trump, must alert it. Or in other words, the opener must alert it. Now, that means 2 things. First off, it's never used by a passed hand.
Are you moving over there?
What?
Why are you moving over there?
Well, so
I had room. It's gonna be in your eye.
If there is an occasion where you have 4-card trump support, but less than an opening hand, there are other bids that you can use to show that. But once you've passed, then Jacoby 2 no trump is no longer available to you. And it should not be used if there is an intervening bid by an opponent. This is a general agreement among players, is that Jacoby Forcing Raise is off with competition. All right.
Susan,
Yes.
as the alert, do you just say Jacoby 2 no trump, or do you?
No, you say.
What do you say?
Alert. You just
say
alert. Alert. And then, in fact, the directors prefer that you not tell the opponents what it is unless you're asked, because you may be waking your partner up. He may have forgotten. And in this day, you and your partner are expected to remember your agreements.
So essentially, you just hit the alert button.
Well, yeah. Well, now in online bridge, we alert our own bids. In face-to-face bridge, the alert is just alert, a verbal alert. And then if the opponents want to know, they ask. And in general, opponents, if it won't make a difference in your next bid, wait till the end of the round of bidding before the opening lead is made to ask what that alert was. If it won't make a difference to your next bid, let's don't fill them in. Just, let's just go on. But now online, if you're using it, you must click the alert button, and then you should type in Jacoby J2NT is a common abbreviation for Jacoby 2 no trump, or Jacoby Forcing Raise, however you want to type it in, however much typing you want to do, basically. If you're playing online, you must alert your own bid. But in face-to-face bridge, we don't alert our own bids. Partners do. So never use it if you're a passed hand. Don't use it if somebody has bid overcalled your partner's opening. Now, the important thing where this becomes handy and becomes really a valuable bid is in the rebids. And here they are, rebids by the opener. These are artificial. So all of openers' rebids need to be alerted because they all have special meaning. A direct jump to 4 of the agreed upon trump suit is a minimum hand, no shortness. I'm not interested in going any further, partner, unless you've got a great big old hand over there. This is as high as we need to go. I've opened a 12-point minimum over here. I have nothing extra to show you at all. So 1 spade, 2 no trump, 4 spades is basically a sign off on opener's part, but that doesn't mean that the responder can't go on with a big hand, because Jacoby 2 no trump has no ceiling on it. It is not a limited bid. It is 13 or more total points in that hand. It could be 20. There's no ceiling on the Jacoby 2 no trump response. Now, 3 of the agreed trump suit, as in many cases, is much stronger than 4. It indicates that invitational level hand and a 6-card suit. In other words, even if your partner hadn't jumped to 2 no trump, if you open a heart and your partner bid a spade, then your jump to 3 hearts would be this bid as well. Invitational hand with a 6-card suit. So the 3 of the trump suit has a similar meaning. It shows no shortness. No, and by shortness, I mean singleton. Singleton or void only. No doubletons here. If you bid a new suit at the 3 level, that's a singleton or a void. How many times have we seen 25-point small slams because each hand had a singleton in it? Here is a way that the opener can show a singleton in his hand to his partner. Sometimes that just makes all the difference in the world. All of a sudden, your partner's hand can grow in value. Maybe he has 3 small opposite your singleton. Yay, I have no wasted values in that suit. That means all of our points are working together in the other suits. So this is incredibly important information. If you rebid 3 no trump, that means you have that good old balanced 5-3-3-2 hand and 14 to 15 total points. In other words, a hand that wasn't really worth a no trump opening, wasn't an appropriate no trump opening. Maybe it has 14 points in it. So you opened one of the major, but it's not a minimum opening hand. 3 no trump, and some people will say that's a 15 or 16 point hand, but if I'm 5-3-3-2 and I have a 5-card major, even I'm opening 1 no trump. That solves my rebid problem for me. And my partners and I have another way of finding a 5-3 major suit fit over a 1 no trump opening. So I usually do not. I have maybe once rebid 3 no trump following a Jacoby 2 no trump response from my partner. And I will make a note here. Some pairs have agreed that this 3 no trump bid by the opener can be passed. I don't recommend that, because with a 9-card trump bid, I mean, trumps equals tricks. And you've got at least 1 doubleton here or shortness. So most of the time when you have a 9-card major suit fit, you're going to play in the major suit. But I will admit there are people who are match point greedy, and they want that extra 10 points that a no trump over trick will give them in it by way of an advantage. For instance, if your hand will make 4 spades and 4 no trump, you get a better score with 430 than you do with 420. But many times that's not the case. So you take a bit of a chance when you elect to play 3 no trump with a known 9-card trump fit. And it doesn't always work out that you get that over trick. You may make 3 no trump, but when the rest of the field is in 4 spades making, you get a 0. So it's a case of you pays your money and you takes your chances here. Now then, there's one other bid that's left, and that is the bid of a new suit at the 4 level. There are 2 different ways that this is played. It can either show a second good, and I mean good in capital letters, 5-card suit. In other words, one that is a source of tricks. I'm not talking about 5 to the Jack 10 9. I'm talking about 5 to the King Queen 10 or 5 to the King Queen Jack, something like that. Shows a second 5-card suit. That tells the responder, if he's got a fitting honor in that suit, that your hands are really cooking. You've got not only a fit in your trump suit, but you've got nice fitting honors in this second suit. Double fits are magic. Double fits are magic. And when you can uncover one of those, you are really cooking with gas at that point. Now then, the other thing that 4 of a new suit can show is a void. There are some people who like to play that 3 of a new suit is a singleton and 4 of a new suit is a void. Now, obviously, if you have a 5-card major suit and a second 5-card suit somewhere, that you have shortness in your hand. It's just that responder doesn't know where it is. And this is the choice of the people who play the convention. I play that the bid of the suit at the 4 level shows a void. So that means I don't use the bid of a new suit at the 4 level very often, but then neither does anybody else, because 2 suited 5-card, that is a hand with 2 5-card suits in it that are both good quality suits, don't happen that often. They really don't. And finally, even though responder did not bid the major suit specifically, the use of this bid sets the trump suit. Remember how we were talking in the series on slams about how you need to have agreed the trump suit either by raising or through inference? Well, using Jacoby 2 no trump sets the trump suit. The use of a splinter bid sets the trump suit as well. So we need no further suit agreement here. If we want to explore slam, we have now agreed that the major suit that opener bid is the trump suit. Now, at any point during the auction, a game bid by either person is the weakest action available. That means it's a sign-off. That means I have nothing else to show you, partner. Unless you have more than what you promised, we need to quit here. The other thing that I would point out is that following the opener's rebid, any bid of a non-trump suit is a control showing Q bid. In other words, it means that the responder thinks, hey, let's check this out. Maybe we have a slam. You showed me a singleton in your suit at the 3 level. What do you think about this if I show you a control here in this suit? And here's that reminder again. All of openers' rebids need to be alerted. All of them.
Susan.
Yeah. Yes.
Gail has her hand up. Gail, do you have a question?
Yes, I just, for clarification, I think I understand it now. This, if opener, let's say, opens 1 heart, is the responder bidding 2 no trump showing the
Yes.
Jacoby?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right. If you don't play Jacoby 2 no trump, the bid of 2 no trump over 1 of a major shows an invitational level hand, 11 or 12 points, and fewer than 3-card support. In general,
Yeah.
it means 2-card support. It will almost always promise 2 cards because the hand is balanced. If you have a singleton in your partner's major, that means you've probably got a 5-card suit elsewhere that you can bid rather than no trump. So if you don't play the Jacoby Forcing Raise, then the responder has the hand that has 11 or 12 points in it. If say for instance, if a partner opened a heart, he denies having 4 spades when he jumps to 2 no trump, and he denies having 3-card support. It's a useful bid, but there are other ways of showing that kind of hand as well. So you're giving up that natural use of 2 no trump there, but look at what you're gaining. by using Jacoby 2 no trump.
Thank you.
Now,
That-
you betcha. You betcha. Anytime. You guys, many of you have heard me speak of Jack Kelo, who was one of the characters at Fun and Games and previous bridge clubs in Oklahoma City for many, many years. He died in June of this year, and he was our resident plumber. You know, in a lot of bridge clubs, most everybody is a professional, so to speak, but Jack was a plumber, and he was definitely a character. He had a big, loud, booming voice that he would use to scream "alert" at the top of his lungs to get everybody's attention. And he was really, really a fine player. He was a Sapphire Life master, smart guy. And one of his favorite tactics as a bridge player was to interfere in auctions where people don't usually interfere. That is Jacoby 2 no trump auctions, 2 club opener auctions, those kinds of things. His point in doing so was that his opponents very seldom had agreements on how they were going to handle that interference. And he could just wreak havoc with having nothing in his hand. He can cause all kinds of problems. So one of the things you want to talk about with your partner is what you're going to do if you have a Jack Kelo in your midst. You need to be prepared for somebody to stick a bid in here that just throws everything off. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but people who do that kind of thing are a major annoyance to me. And Jack loved being annoying. You know, he really did. He had a great big smile, and every time he thought he was causing you trouble, he'd get this innocent look on his face, say, "Who, me?" And then he'd just give you a great big smile. So foil the Jack Kelos among you if you can by having agreements on what you're going to do if a very impolite opponent interferes. So when there's interference, Jacoby 2 no trump is off. So, for instance, maybe you get your Jacoby 2 no trump bid in there, and it is the person sitting in the 4th chair who bids. How in the world is opener going to handle that? Well, he can use the interferer's bid to show shortness by doubling. If that's where his shortness is, double of that suit is the same, has the same effect as bidding that suit at the 3 level. So that's one agreement that you can have. A bid of the overcalled suit at the 4 level can be used to show a void. In other words, it goes 1 heart, pass, 2 no trump, 3 clubs, 4 clubs, it shows a club void. Just as it would have if the interferer had not bid at all. Now, if opener bids a new suit, a completely new suit, it can be either natural or it can be a control showing Q bid, depending on partnership agreement. There's that term again, partnership agreement. If he rebids 3 no trump, that can be used to show a maximum with a stop. That is an ace or a king in the opponent's bid suit. 3 of the major still shows that invitational level hand, and it should show a stop in the overcalled suit. If the opener just jumps to 4 of his suit, that's the same thing. Minimum hand, no shortness. I want to play game. I now know that this guy over here has this suit and some values, and that's going to help me play my game. But I don't have anything else, and so I'm just going to bid game in my major suit. And now we have an interesting concept here. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of you have not heard of the forcing pass. That almost sounds like a contradiction in terms, doesn't it? How in the world can a pass be forcing? Well, when your partner has bid Jacoby 2 no trump, you are now in a game forcing auction. People don't generally use Jacoby 2 no trump to find games. They usually use it to help find slams. But Deborah, do you have your hand up?
No.
Okay, it's up. It's, okay.
Oh, it's the other Deborah.
No, Deborah Duncan has her hand up.
Yeah, I'll remove it. I'll remove it.
Okay, okay. All righty. By that, I mean that we are in a game forcing auction and I have no suitable bid, partner, but you have to keep the auction alive. That means that responder now has to either double or bid to keep the auction going. We're not going to give up. We're in a game forcing auction here. So if the opener passes, he doesn't want to bid 4 of the agreed upon suit because there's a possibility that we might have more. I don't have any shortness to show. I don't have a 6-card suit. Maybe I don't have a stop in his suit, so I can't bid no trump. But pass by opener after interference in that 4th chair is forcing, because the Jacoby 2 no trump response is a game force. That means that even if anybody interferes following the game force, pass by opener is a forcing pass. This was a new concept to me the first time I heard it, and I thought, oh my Lord, I thought there were confusing things before in this game. This is the most confusing thing I can think of. But it just means that responder needs to bid. He can either double, and double can be a DSI double or a do something intelligent partner double, or cooperative. Some people call them cooperative doubles. It can be a double for penalty. But in general, that passes the buck back to opener and he has to make the decision. I love putting down a DSI double myself, but I hate it when my partner does it to me because that means I have to do something intelligent. And any of you who know me knows that that may happen some days, but on other days, there's not a prayer of having that happen. So be aware that when you overcall in a game forcing auction, particularly higher level players are not afraid to put down the double card and make you go for a number, particularly when they're in a game forcing auction. Jack never worried about going off. He didn't care. You know, he didn't care if he went for 1,700. He just loved making a mess out of making people uncomfortable. But some of the rest of us are not quite so sanguine about these huge penalties. So think about it carefully if you're going to interfere when you have opponents who know they have a game between them. But now, in the event that your partner opens one of a major and the next person uses a double for takeout, there is a companion convention that may also be used. It's called Jordan in some parts of the country and Truscott in other parts of the country. And it simply shows 4-card support, just like Jacoby 2 no trump does, and a limit raise or better. So a hand that was going to respond Jacoby 2 no trump, there's an interfering double, can now use 2 no trump as Jordan. Partner doesn't know if you have a limit raise or better. It promises 4-card support and a balanced hand as well. The rebids that you use following a Jordan bid are a matter of partnership agreement because it can be made on only a limit raise hand. This doesn't come up very often because it means that the doubler's partner is absolutely broke. If you have an opening hand and the doubler has an opening hand and you have a limit raise, there's not much left over here for the poor guy sitting in the 4th seat. So it doesn't come up all that often, but I know a lot of people who have it on their cards. This is following a direct seat double. Following a direct seat overcall, of course, you can use a Q bid to show a limit raise or better in that eventuality. Don't be afraid to use the opponent's actions against them, in other words. But when there's interference, the Jacoby 2 no trump convention responses are off by agreement. Or that is conventional wisdom. That doesn't mean that you and your partner can't have the agreement. Well, hey, if there's room for you to do this, then do it anyway, and it'll have the same meaning. There's nothing wrong with that. As always, as long as it is not in violation of one of the laws of ACBL, you and your partner can have any agreement that you wish. So here are some example hands following a Jacoby 2 no trump response. With this hand right here, this is the opener's hand. North's hand, 1 spade, 2 no trump by his partner. Notice he has more than a dead minimum, and he shows his club shortness by bidding 3 clubs. 2 no trump is alertable, 3 clubs is alertable here. In this instance, North opens a heart. He gets the 2 no trump response from his partner. This is a good quality 5-card suit. This is what I mean by a second 5-card suit that is a source of tricks. So this is a 4 diamond response, and this is the way that you agree to use the 4-level bids. In this instance, North opens a heart, partner bids 2 no trump. Notice, this is a dead minimum opening hand with no shortness. Game only, partner here. Unless you've got 18 or 19 points, we're not going any further. With this hand, North, yes,
You have an alert by the 4 hearts, so you have to alert the 4 heart
Yes.
bid.
yes,
What do
ma'am.
you say? What do you say? Just minimum
Alert.
open?
Alert. And then if somebody says, and most everybody who knows the convention knows what it means and won't even ask you. But if they do, just say minimum opener, no shortness, something like that. Just says, my partner has any interest in anything other than gay.
Susan,
Yes.
it's Ella. Is it your partner that needs to say the alert when you're
Yes.
playing in person?
When you're face to face, remember, we don't alert our own bids when we're playing face to face, because that tips partner off. It is partner's responsibility in a face to face game to do the alerting. When you're online, you alert your own bids because partner can't see your alerts. That's the difference.
Susan,
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Susan, in hand 2, you have a singleton in spades. Does the good 5-card suit take precedence over the singleton in spades? You don't show the singleton first?
In general, yes, that's the way most pairs play it. But that, again, is a matter of partnership agreement. Notice, though, that this is a better than just common garden variety minimum. This hand is not appropriate for a 1 no trump opening, but the point level falls in that range. Some people will like to show shortness. Other people like to show the source of tricks. Conventionally, or per conventional wisdom, showing the second 5-card suit takes precedence over showing shortness. But again, that's a matter of partnership agreement. If you would rather know specifically where partner's shortness is, then you can certainly have that agreement. But in general, when people
If you
Go
have
ahead,
two
Deborah.
5-card suits, you can assume that they've got shortness somewhere.
Well, yes, definitely. And most people's thought is, or some people would rather know specifically where a singleton or void happens to be, rather than knowing about the second 5-card suit. That's a matter of preference. I will say that far and away, the vast majority of people who use 4-level bids to show a second 5-card suit show that 5-card suit when they have it, rather than shortness. That's a matter of personal preference as far as I'm concerned. Because in general, it will denote a better than minimum opening hand too. If you have enough points to have a good major suit and a good second 5-card suit, you've got more than a dead minimum hand in general. And that's why they like to show it. Say, for instance, your partner had, with this one, if he had the ace of diamonds, all of a sudden he would know, hey, my partner has a good diamond suit that's a source of tricks, and I've got a fitting honor. all of a sudden the value of his hand goes way up. On the other hand, if you show shortness with the spades and he has 3 small, the value of his hand goes way up because he has no wasted values in your short suit. So you can make the argument either way. And that's a subject that you and your partner should discuss. Sorry, I don't have any pat answers for you. But, all right, now the last one, here's an example of a hand that rebids 3 of the major. Notice, there are some people who might want, if this were a 6-card minor, would open this one no trump, and that would not be wrong. But with a 6-card major, I never open a no trump, particularly one this nice. So 1 spade followed by Jacoby 2 no trump. Yay, looking at this hand. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 3 spades tells my partner I have 6 spades and I have that invitational level hand, which is what I have. It's actually maybe even just a shade better than invitational. But this would, I don't want to bid 4 spades here because that, remember, that denotes the dead minimum hand. 3 spades is much stronger than 4, as it is in most cases when you're talking about finding games. Now then, here's another one. I've opened a heart. My partner bid 2 no trump and I bid 3 no trump. Notice I have 14 points and a square hand. Now I don't particularly, this does not mean that I want to play 3 no trump. I'm just describing the nature and shape of my hand to my partner further. There are pairs who have agreed that this 3 no trump bid can be passed. But as I said, with a 9-card major suit fit, you are rarely going to find that that is the right answer. Now then, here's another one. Look at this hand. This is an opening hand with hearts, but it's not a very pretty opening hand, is it? It's got 6 hearts in it, not nearly enough points to rebid 3 hearts. So this is a dead minimum opener. I have no shortness. I'm just going to bid game and go on. Not today, partner. Bid on at your own risk. Now, the reason that this is a very, very popular convention. It's one of the most popular ones in terms of bids that show a major suit fit and a game force. The reason that it is so popular is because that showing shortness by opener can really be useful in determining the degree of fit between the 2 hands. That's part of what you need in order to be able to determine whether you want to stop at game or go on to slam. We all know instances, the reason they made 6 is because each one has a singleton. But unless you play splinters by opener, many times you're never going to be able to show shortness in the opener's hand. You have to bid all around the shortness to be able to show it. And with this convention, the opener can show shortness relatively easily. And he doesn't have to have a super duper hand to do it. The way, if you're going to use a splinter by opener, you got to have a lot of points. So a high degree of fit is often what makes the difference and why people can make slams. I have seen small slams made on as few as 21 high card points. Those are not slams that are typically bid if you don't have some way of either finding out how well your hands fit together or you have a lot of experience. Experience is worth a lot. And in that case, that might be one way that people could do it. But say you don't have, I don't have the amount of experience that would enable me to find a 21 point small slam. I mean, I just don't. And there aren't many who do. So if you can learn to use a convention like Jacoby 2 no trump or splinters, then you can end up finding those slams that might otherwise be lost. Now,
I have
here
a
are
question, Susan.
Sure.
Ella, go ahead, please.
Susan, when you show alert that you're for your partner and somebody does ask what it means, do you go into detail saying it shows shortness or it shows?
Yeah, if for instance, if somebody, when your partner alerts, say your 3-club rebid, and one of your opponents turns to your partner and says, what is your alert? Then you just say shortness, if that's your agreement. You know, I tend not to want to over explain in that situation. I try to keep it as concise as possible. And everybody understands shortness, or if it's a 4-level bid, you can say that's a second suit, or this is a good second suit. That would be all I would say. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
I would add that if the defender persists, you can be more, you can elaborate if you need to. But yeah, the short answer is fine there.
Yeah. Good morning, Don. All right. Now then, here are our example hands here. Number 1 is the opener here. The opener's on the left, responders on the right. We get a 1 heart, 2 no trump, 4 diamonds. Look what that tells the responder. All of a sudden, that king and queen of diamonds are absolutely golden. Absolutely golden. Fill in that second suit my partner has. I'm willing to bet he has the ace and jack, and I know he has 5 cards. That means he's short, either in clubs or spades, and I have an honor in both of these. All of a sudden, I'm interested in showing a control. And if I'm holding this hand, when my partner bids 4 diamonds, I'm going to bid 4 no trump. Notice we don't have 2 fast losers in any of the suits, and there are no voids. My partner has opened hearts. He has an opening hand. We've agreed hearts. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, or if you think your partner might have opened a 9 high suit, then you don't want to do this. But in general, he will not show a shortness or a second 5-card suit if he is a dead minimum with an ugly suit. That would call for a rebid of 4 hearts. Partner didn't do that. Partner did not do that. His hand so far is unlimited. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, by all means, Q bid that spade ace there. 4 spades is a control showing Q bid. It's your cheapest one following the diamond suit. 4 spades is your cheapest one. All of a sudden, if I'm holding this hand, I'm very interested in slam. I'm very interested. Notice, we're missing only the ace of trumps. 6 is virtually cold on this hand. And it's because of the description that opener was able to give to the responder. He now knows that these honors right here are fitting honors and make his hand and his partner's hand very much more valuable, and the degree of fit is great. 1 heart, 2 no trump, 4 diamonds, 4 no trump, Roman key card, 5 diamonds, 0 or 3. We hope it's 3, right? It cannot possibly be 0. 6 hearts, 27 high card points, cold, small slam. Cold, small slam. If you Q bid your spade ace here, partner's going to be really interested too. He can, conversely, if you want to bid 4 spades, opener can bid 4 no trump. Key card for hearts, if you use key card. And what would he show? He would show 1, right? Then we can follow that up. Since we know we're missing 1, we can follow it up with the queen ask. When he shows the heart queen and the club king, then we can bid 6 hearts. Either way, either one can ask. If you feel more comfortable Q bidding that spade ace rather than going because you're not sure about the quality of your partner's trump suit, then that's perfectly legitimate. It can be done either way. Now that here's an example that doesn't work out quite so well. North opens, or we'll call that north. I don't know if it's north or not. It could be west. 1 heart, 2 no trump, club shortness. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I wish you'd shown me diamond shortness. This is not good. This is when you have your partner shows you a singleton, you either want to have to quote the old Frank Sinatra standard, all or nothing at all. That's what you want to have when partner shows you a singleton. You want to have it all, meaning an ace, or you want to have nothing at all. 0, no high card points. Kings and queens opposite a singleton in a suit represent a duplication of values. And that's what you have here. So all of a sudden, oh dear, I've gotten a nice description of my partner's hand. He has a singleton club, and I have a 6 of my points in the club suit. This is not a good sign. 4 hearts. That's it, partner. Notice we're off the ace and king of diamonds. Slam has no, and the ace of clubs. We're going to make 4, right? That's it. We may have thought we had a chance, but because of the cards and the degree of fit here, the degree of fit here isn't great. We stay out of a slam that we might otherwise bid. So here's another example, and this shows an example of a hand that has shortness but shouldn't show it. Opener bids a heart. We get a 2 no trump call here. This is a dead minimum opener, isn't it? This is an 11 pointer. This isn't even a full 12 high card point hand. If I'm holding this hand, I'm not showing this shortness because I have stretched to open here, and I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to tell my partner that, hey, I'm really on a minimum here, and I'm going to bid just 4 hearts. It's not wrong to open this hand. I mean, this is an 11-point hand that some people won't open because it doesn't have 2 quick tricks in it. Not everybody opens this hand. You know, your choice. I wouldn't criticize anybody who did necessarily, but I would not show shortness opposite a Jacoby 2 no trump call by my partner. Now then, here's another example. 1 heart, 2 no trump. This is a hand that rebids 3 no trump. Square shape, no second 5 card suit, no shortness. And more importantly, no 6th heart. No 6th heart. So, responder has 2 fast losers in diamonds, and we know about the 2 fast losers. 2 times when we don't use any form of blackwood. When we have a void, or when we have worthless doubleton or tripleton in a suit, or 2 fast losers in a suit. So rather than launching right into blackwood and then having partner tell me he has 1 and I don't know where it is, I'm going to show him my club control. After the 3 no trump rebid by opener, all new suits are control showing Q bids. So 4 clubs comes out of my box, and partner says, oh, you're interested, huh? Well, okay, I see you've got a control in clubs. I'll show you my diamond control. So 4 diamonds comes out, control showing Q bid. Oh, good. I don't have 2 fast losers in diamonds. Excellent. How about this, partner? I don't really have anything else to show you. I'm not so sure that we belong any further. 4 hearts. Opener says, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. I got a better hand than that. What do you think about my spade ace? Does that help you? Oh my goodness, yes, it helps me. How many aces do you have altogether? Or key cards, as it is in this case? Why, I have 3. Is that helpful to you? You bet it is. I think we should play 6 hearts. Notice, if you can pitch off the club, you're going to do even better than that. You're going to make 7. Depending on what the lead is and how the play goes, 6 hearts is cold here. 6 hearts is cold. You'll make 7 as long as the trump split 2-2 without any problem. Here's another example. Some of these came from hands I found on the internet and out in the ether, and some of them are game hands, believe it or not. West opens a spade on this one. Opener rebids 2 no trump, 3 diamonds. I have diamond shortness, partner. Oh, look. That's wonderful. I have nothing at all, nothing wasted in diamonds. 4 no trump. Notice, this is not 2 fast losers. Partner has told me he has a singleton here. We have only 1 loser in diamonds. I know he has 5 spades. I have 5 spades. Key card for spades. 5 diamonds, 3 or 0. 6 spades. Because, why doesn't he ask for the queen? Because he has 5 spades. He knows there are 10 trump between them. I found out about a hand that was played on Wednesday at Fun and Games that was a very strong hand opposite a hand with 1 ace and a side suit and king empty 7th of spades. The pair that held this hand bid well, using a support double to find 6 spades. But one of the pairs did not know that when you have a known 10 card set that you claim the queen even when you don't have it. So they bid only 6 spades when 7 is cold because there is a 10 card fit. And he had king 7th, his partner had ace jack small. And had he known that when you have 10 trump, you claim the queen even when you don't have it, and had he shown it, his partner would have bid 7 spades. But as it was, he had to share the top with somebody else who was in 6. You guys all know something that this 2,000 point player didn't know, at least before this past week. I think he knows it now. But using Jacoby 2 no trump here, we find a 24 high card point slam because he doesn't worry about the queen because he knows there is a 10 card set. So he just bids it. He says, my partner has 3. I have 1. I know we have a diamond loser. So I bid only 6, not 7. Here's another example. 1 spade, 2 no trump. 3 spades. I have an invitational level hand with 6 spades, partner. Well, I had the ace of clubs. What do you think? Well, I have the ace of hearts. What do you think? Now, the 3 spade rebid denies a singleton and shows a good but very distributional hand. Responder shows some slam interest when he Q bids the club control. Now, this Q bid of the heart control is important because it denies the diamond control. Remember, we bid controls up the line. His bid of 4 hearts denies a diamond control. But partner says, that's okay. I've got the king and queen. You've got hearts. I've got the top 2 spades. I know you're not going to bid it because you don't know I have these, but I do. I have the ace over here. I'm not worried about, notice he doesn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about secondary honors. Number 1, his partner's points have to be somewhere. He knows he has an invitational level hand because he rebid 3 spades. His points have to be somewhere, and they're not in diamonds. He denied the ace, and I'm looking at the king and queen. So he doesn't have any points in diamonds at all. His points have to be somewhere. I'm betting that he has the club king, and I'm betting that he has good hearts. So he just bids 6 spades. There would be nothing wrong with bidding 4 no trump, but you don't have to do that. The one who knows goes. If you want to confirm something, you can do it, but realize that you never ask for kings. If you're concerned about the club king, you can't ask because you know that you don't have all the aces. When you bid 5 no trump asking for kings, remember that says I'm interested in the grand. We have all of the key cards and the trump queen. We don't have all the key cards. And he didn't know about the trump queen either. I mean, one would hope with that kind of hand and missing the top 2 trump honors that partner has the trump queen, but it's not a lead pipe cinch. So now we know there's a 10 card fit. So even if he doesn't have it, it's not the fate worse than death, but we don't have all the key cards. So I don't ask for kings at all in this situation, even if I want to know about the club king. If you want to ask for the queen, you can. If you want to bid 4 no trump and get the partner's response, he's got only 1 notice, which would be 5 clubs, then 5 diamonds is the queen ask. And he says, well, okay, I have it. And I have the club king is my cheapest one. Or no, over 5 diamonds, I have the heart king. That's my cheapest one. So he would say, he would bid 5 hearts showing the queen of spades and the king of hearts. So you still can't find out about the club king here. And then you can bid 6 spades if you want to. But you can use bridge logic to figure this out. This is one instance where bridge logic works too. You know that partner doesn't have the diamond ace though. So if you sit and think about it, 6 spades can come out of your box without any control showing or cubing or anything like that. So that's the scoop on Jacoby 2 no trump. Short and sweet, 1 week's worth of talking. Does anybody have any questions? We have a few minutes left for questions if you have any. And that's it in a nutshell on the Jacoby Forcing Raise. Next week, we're going to talk about splinters.
We do have a couple of questions, Sue.
All righty.
Okay, I think Gail, you may have a question, and I know Ella does. Ella, why don't you go ahead?
Susan, just real quick, on the asterisks, the little stars, are those also alertable?
Generally, no. Don can clarify, but they do no. Control showing Q bids and ace asking bids typically are not alertable, but certainly if your opponent asks, you should tell them.
Thank you.
You bet.
And Gail, did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, okay.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Comment, suggestions, anything?
Well, I have a question for the group. Is everybody clear that once you open and your partner says 2 no, that sets your trump suit? That's, for me, that was for some reason used to not absolutely, it took me a while to really tumble to that. So
yeah, that sets that agrees the trump suit. You don't need to do any more bidding around to confirm. That says, yes, partner, we have a 9 card fit and we're going to play game at the very least. But nobody uses splinters or Jacoby 2 no trump to find games. There are other ways to find games. The real advantage to Jacoby 2 no trump and splinters is in determining the degree of fit to figure out whether you have that low point slam available to you. This is not something that beginners need to be doing and thinking about, but you guys are all well past this stage of ranked beginners. You're not ranked beginners anymore. And this is a very useful thing to have in your toolbox, but don't add it until you're ready. There's nothing worse than adding a bunch of conventions, sitting down to play bridge and having a brain freeze because you have so many new bids on your convention card that you have forgotten what everything means. It's ask me how I know that.
And Lonnie,
Ask me how much that contributes to forgets at the table. That's
Lonnie, what,
everybody has those, but you set yourself up for forgets when you add things too fast before you have really settled in on the fundamentals of one thing before you add another. Yeah.
and I think we have a question from Lonnie, and then Dawn has the floor after that. Lonnie, go ahead.
Thank you. Could we go back to the very first slide? I would like to get a little clearer on the parameters of what a two no Trump bid response should look like.
Oh, all righty. It will have at least four
On
cards.
page 4.
At page 4, thank you. Oh, this is this is wrong. This is the rebid.
Oh,
Let me see. I'm looking for mine.
okay.
Here we go. Here we are. Oh, this is openers rebids. Let me look. Let me find a. Here we go. This is page 8. This is a typical Jacoby 2 no Trump response here. Partners opened 1 heart. I have 4 card support. I have an opening hand. Opening points. Notice this is 14 points, and I have a doubleton here. So I have a hand that has 14 high card points in it. It's balanced, and I have 4 card Trump support for my partner. This is a perfect 2 no Trump response.
That's the key. 4 card Trump support and opening points. Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. 4 card Trump support and an opening hand. Okay, Mr. Don, it's all yours. You're muted.
Okay, I think I found the answer. But let's say it goes, you're a passed hand, partner opens one of a major and you bid 2 no Trump. What is that? Did you address that? I think you may have.
I did not, except to say that Jacoby 2 no Trump is off. In that instance, I would say that it reverts to the old meaning of the 2 no Trump response. I have fewer than 3 card support for you, but I have a limit raise. Say if you open it goes pass, 1 heart, pass. If I have a limit raise and support for my partner, I'm going to use Drury, since he is a 3rd seat opener and may have opened light. But if I don't have support, 2 no Trump by me means I have 11-ish, 12-ish points and fewer than 3 cards in support for my partner.
Does everybody know Drury?
No.
Probably not. Probably we have not touched on that yet. Simply because I'll tell you what, Drury is a frequently forgotten convention. It's very useful, but it is frequently forgotten at the table.
I understand, but it's a great answer to a lot of problems.
It's a wonderful tool. Wonderful tool. There are 2 ways to use it. You can use 3 clubs or 3 diamonds, or two clubs or 2 diamonds. And I missed so many 2 diamond calls that my partners made me take the 2-way Drury off my card. So be aware that it can be that way. If you never open light in 3rd seat, you don't need it. But if you have a partner who opens light in 3rd seat, particularly with one of a major, this is an important bid for you. And we should probably talk about that at some point in the near future.
And I think we have one more question from Pat Mitchell. Pat, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, please.
On hand 1, if the responder bids 3 hearts asking, is that a reasonable bid, or is the responder's hand too strong for 3 hearts?
This is much too good. 3 hearts is confined to a limit raise. This is much better than a limit raise. A Jacoby 2 no Trump hand is not a limit raise hand. It's better than a limit raise.
The partner can pass 3 hearts.
Invitation look like.
Yes, and somebody piped up and said partner can pass 3 hearts. It is not forcing. So if you have this hand, don't give partner a limit raise. It is not forcing. And you'll be disappointed if he passes. So you've either got to bid, if you don't use Jacoby 2 no trump, you've got to bid 2 clubs or something else and then jump to 4 hearts. 3 hearts does not come close to doing this hand justice. That makes sense? Pat?
It
Oh,
makes sense.
she's off. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. That's an important distinction. That might be a hand that a lot of people are tempted to bid 3 hearts with. But remember, invitations can be passed. And you don't want to bid 4 hearts because that's the weak freak. Remember, you can't use one bid to have 2 different meanings. If you use it to show the preemptive 5-card raise to game with 7-ish points, you can't also use it to show this hand. So save that 4-heart call for a preemptive raise and bid 2 clubs or something. Don't lie about a major suit. Don't bid a spade. If you're going to lie and bid clubs, and you don't have 5, but that's okay. We're just temporizing here. If you have to tell a lie about a minor suit, but never about a major suit. Then at your next bid, you jump to 4 hearts. But notice if you don't use Jacoby 2 no trump, you give up the advantage of these rebids and finding the degree of fit. So 3 hearts is not sufficient for this hand. 4 hearts is way not sufficient for this hand. And not using Jacoby 2 no trump doesn't give you the advantages of those openers rebids. So there are several reasons to adopt it if you're interested at all. Okay, thank you all for coming this morning. We appreciate your support. And also, you know, we don't charge for these lessons, guys. Here comes the pitch. Fun and Games is a nonprofit organization, and we're coming to the end of the year. If you appreciate the lessons, please consider making a donation to the club. For your year-end giving, we'd appreciate being considered, if you would, please. And that's one of the main reasons I do this, is to help support the club. And we do appreciate all of your attendance and your support of the Oklahoma Collective as well. So in case I forget to say it next week, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.